What's up?
Man, slow motion. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't looking like a booger wolf on your shit.
What in the world?
No, it's cool. It's cool. You in the trenches.
Oh no, I'm talking about with my Wi-Fi signal. You know, I ain't never worried about how we. Come on, we can
Oh.
jump whatever. Ain't worried about that.
Yeah, yeah. Look, we
Yeah,
just gonna jump right into it, bro. I mean,
let's
I,
get.
you ready?
Yep. Come on. Let me have a seat.
Um, well, we met a couple years back. When I met you, you was in the retail space. You had been doing some. You had been in there for probably like 10 years in the retail space. What I didn't know was you was moonlighting, getting that uh some mentoring from the two partners, Damien and what's his name,
Greenhand. Yep.
Dr. Greenhand down in the farm, getting those, getting educated in that space. Can you talk about that?
Man, that's the crazy part that you say it. Moonlighting in your purpose, man. Ain't that crazy? That's crazy, right? So the whole time I was working retail, I was doing the villa and I was working down at the farm at the same time. Was trying to really find myself in that space where you in transition, but you don't know like what direction you're trying to head in. So what you really doing is at the same time, I'm comfortable because I'm getting paid. You feel what I'm saying? I'm around kicks. Retail is its own animal, but at the same time, it's like the people that you meet, the relationships that get made. So I found what I thought was purpose and just people building skills. You feel what I'm saying? Learning how to connect people and just pretty much just learn how to work a room just through retail. And um, leaving retail, then coming to a space like this down here at the farm. I mean, you already see how tranquil and here, you feel what I'm saying? So once I got to that fork in the road, you feel what I'm saying? Where it was just like, I felt the difference of me being at the store and then me being at the farm.
Mm.
But I didn't feel the difference in my pocket. You feel me? So it's like one of them things where it was hard for me to find my transition because I'm like, man, listen, this farm shit is cool, but I gotta eat. You know what I'm saying? So really looking back now that you can brought that, out the gate, I was looking at my resignation letter, the one liner. You know what I'm saying? Today my
Mm.
last day. The world needs me. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I felt that because I felt the difference of me getting sick, going to open up a store, making somebody else a millionaire, and the relationship that I accumulated. And all I ever preached was operating in your purpose. But here it is, I am in somebody else's store. No knock to working the job, but I'm making somebody else rich. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting rich in character. I'm just getting like depressed going to work when I felt like my passion and purpose was here down at the farm, but I didn't know where I fit in at. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's a switch. So during that process, when I jump, you feel what I'm saying? A lot of people jump and cheer you on to jump just to see what it's gonna look like when you land. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah.
riding on the plane with everybody. Yeah, bro, I feel you, bro. Jump. They gassing me up to jump, but not even knowing I'm already got the decision made. But I'm jumping, and I ain't to my bank account work together. It was just like I had to go. So I just had to go. I just felt like I was operating out of purpose. And when you physically can't go to work without feeling like you're getting sick or you just mentally not in a space where you can give no more, it was time for me to go. So I was working retail and the farm. And when I put that resignation letter in, everybody thought it was a joke because I posted it on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I want to make sure y'all don't let me come back after I post this because, you know what I'm saying? I had to challenge myself to really just tap into that purpose and find out what it was. And my natural God-given ability the whole time I was operating was just connecting people. So I like to tell people I'm a relationship curator.
Mm.
Connect people, you know what I'm saying? And that come from tennis shoes, really bringing so many different backgrounds, races, religions, and employment opportunities together all in one spot over shoes. So I was able to really just look back on how I really was able to just turn relationships into revenue. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? From being at the shoe store, and that's one thing I learned how to work a plug and work a source with, swap it out sometime that barter system. I might not have had it, you feel what I'm saying? But these shoes coming out, we can swap it out. You know what I'm saying? I need you, I got this event coming up, invoice me for your services, and we'll swap it out in tennis shoes. You know what I'm saying? Just making it make sense to the point where I was blessed enough to, once I did jump, you know what I'm saying? I was cleared for landing in the same breath. So I didn't have to focus on how or where I was going to land. I already had a target, but it was just like, okay, once your feet hit the ground, then it's like you charge, like, all right, now what? And I'm always there. It takes so much for me to get excited because I'm always a then what?
Yeah.
You know what
Let
I'm
me
saying? And
just.
I done been down here for 8 years
Mm.
and then seeing somebody conversation turn into a plan, the plan turned into a dream, and the dream turned into something I can receive from. But I still wasn't sold, Jay.
Yeah.
I still wasn't sold.
Let's go back to let's we talking about Red Off Farm, but let's talk about how epic the farm is. Let's go back to talk about what the Forbidden Triangle is, and when it wasn't nothing there, the partners come together and reform like Voltron, let's get into that.
So so Forgotten Triangle is every hood in America that you got the crack house, the chop shop, anything from dead bodies to dumping zones to pollution. You know what I'm saying? The hood so thorough as far as being consistent on the bull. It's like I don't even think Captain Planet could have saved this play down here. You feel what I'm saying? So I was fortunate enough and able enough to be in a position and once again turning relationships into revenue, meeting Damien, Randy, Kima, Dr. Greenhand. You feel what I'm saying? That already had a play in motion to, you know what I'm saying, bring some change into the hood with just sustainability and agriculture. I don't even like using the word urban no more, man, because it's like it come with a discount. It come with a discount. I want to just be known as being a farmer, and then the plays that I was able to stand on their shoulders to really be a part of. And like I said, once again, me being a black man, being able to receive from somebody's dream, but have it go from a meeting turned to a conversation of what we gonna do. We actually doing it and revitalizing, you know what I'm saying, the community for everybody else to be able to receive from. You know what I'm saying? So the farm went from being a 2-acre farm to now we got 26 acres and it's been 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And hustle, grind, and moonlight and stay consistent. So once they said go, we never stopped. We still building. Right now we got a restaurant getting built across the street right now. And I think that's the most valuable gem I've been able to take, where if you say you ready for something and you ask for that permission and they give it to you, it's you got to be held accountable for them actions and smashing the gas. And that's what I was able to see, you know, Damien do day after day, because he was working this exterminating company and still coming down to the farm. So that's where that moonlight came from. And then it was like it came where I seen the need for me to be down and around more so I can gain more accountability and more peace on like what it is that I'm trying to do to really fully transition into my purpose. So being able to stand on the shoulders of them type of giants and sit at the table and break bread and call them my business partners is already a blessing. And the work that we do down here day in and day out, you know what I'm saying? That's definitely a silver lining just on doing all the stuff that's been going on. I haven't really been affected directly because it's business as usual. You know what I'm saying? So before they even passed out essential paperwork, we was still operate. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't waiting on the paperwork because, I mean, these plants don't stop. These fish need to get fed. So it's like at the end of the day, we have to smash the gas and just being held accountable for putting those plans out because people counting on you to do what you say you're going to do once you just raise the awareness. Once you just tell somebody they can, you got to be held accountable for the content that you put out daily as an individual because we natural consumers just off of spirit. You somebody telling you the ideas of the plans they got and get you japped up and ready to go, and then you pull up Monday and they like, no, we're gonna start next Thursday, bro. And you like, but I'm ready now.
Let me ask you another question. Paint us a picture of these 20 acres. Like what's in there? Like I know you got some greenhouses, you got some fish.
Let me see. That's the beautiful thing about me being here. Can you see what's behind me?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna walk around for a minute. So this is one of our main hoop houses right here where we got the growing going on. Might be turning a little too fast. Anything from perennials to an orange tree. Got an orange tree in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Inside of here right now, it's 90 degrees right now to fish tanks or aquaponics setup.
What kind of
So
fish
that's just
you got in there?
plants growing and coexisting with fish. The area is pretty much just broke up into hoop houses, greenhouses, just so you can sustainably be able to maintain and grow year round. You know what I'm saying? Not having to take a break or take a pause in the action. And then even across the street, our veterans hoop homes, you feel what I'm saying? In our restaurant, I take y'all to the back for the TP. So it's just so many different things right now with all this that's going on. I'm trying to make sure that we can prepare a safe place for people to come and just get their mind back on track.
Love it.
Just to be able to breathe. And you know what I'm saying? And the name of the game now, it ain't even monetary currency, it's social currency. You know what I'm saying? Coming down and somebody knowing who you are because you done showed face and been down here before, and we can slowly open the gates up for people to catch, you know what I'm saying, some peace within themselves. Because bro, I seen so many people at the beach on Saturday on Instagram. I said, ain't no way.
Hold on. Let's jump back to I want to give some more praise due to Damien, his untimely passing in 2018.
For sure.
How that affected everything. But also, can you touch on, I saw something where some kids was coming down there curious and wasn't really too invited, and he kind of brought them in. Talk about that, bro.
Okay, so
research.
No, listen, I appreciate it. So to go back to Damien, my mentor, business partner, and one of them people that if he said he was gonna do it, the clock was running as soon as he told you. You feel what I'm saying? For him to be able to manifest whatever it was that he told you he was gonna do, for you to be able to position yourself. So I've literally seen him work himself, unfortunately, into a position where, you know what I'm saying, I felt like he knew his time was coming because everything sped up. You feel what I'm saying? Everything was super urgent. Like, we got to do this today. We got to do this now. And then me being able, fortunate enough to see and sit in on some of the last couple meetings that still play a part into what we do down here today. I mean, I've never met somebody with a work ethic like that. And like I say, honestly, just stay 10 toes down into what they was doing. So one of the biggest things that we talked about by us being down here at the farm is opening up an opportunity for the community to receive from it. So we had some little kids coming down here. They was breaking into the hoop house. And we had did a toy gun buyback a couple years back, and we had some toy guns that was in one of the hoop houses. So one of the kids came down for a field trip and spotted the little toy gun section. So they wanted to do their little recon work and come back after hours and see, you know, it was hitting for. So they had a full-blown plan, bro. They was coming down here 12 bikes deep, broken off into to groups of two groups of 6. They done stashed their bikes in the bushes, sent the smallest and the youngest kids to do the recon work and come in, you feel me, and case the place out and find those guns. Because the reason they was looking for the toy guns, the older kids had paintball pellet guns and was shooting them with them. These little kids have found a way to put slingshots on top of these toy guns to mechanically engineer them. They can shoot paintballs too. So, I mean, once we caught them, you know, breaking in, and you know what I'm saying, I'm talking about a whole chase through Garden Valley, and we end up knowing one of their grandparents and one of their uncles and stuff like that. And you know what I'm saying, we offered them an opportunity to like, why y'all breaking in? What do y'all want? The older kids shooting us with paintball guns. We just wanted to, you know, make our own. I'm talking about, bro, they didn't spray paint these things black, put a slingshot on them, and I'm talking about these things had some pop to them to the point you couldn't even be mad. You feel what I'm saying? You saw it and you just like, man, come on, bro. But then you looking at, all right, I'm looking at a whole genius crew, because you got to think about it. For them to send the smallest and the youngest, they know the laws. He can't go to jail. He can't go to juvie. All they going to do is give him back to his mother. On top of that, for them to break up, stash the bikes in the bushes and plan. So these kids is far from stupid. they just apply pressure on whatever it is that's got their interest at the time. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's up to us to really, like I said, put some content out there that's valuable for them to consume that they can really receive from. So that's something I learned from Dame, you know what I'm saying, during the whole time I was with him, sitting up under him, learning how to really not just say I'm gonna do something, but really, before I even put it out there, make sure I get the means to be able to provide and stay consistent with what I say I'm gonna do and hold myself accountable. Because once you put it out there, it's stuck up there for real, because you got people looking for you to come through and set that tone of expectation. Like, well, you said you was gonna have this for me. What's up? We looking for it. So we end up giving the kids, you know what I'm saying, jobs down here. And they was probably one of the biggest assets we had from just composting. You know what I'm saying? We trying to do the right thing, and you know what I'm saying, not be a big brothers program, big sisters program, but just like on some, you know, your kids is over here. So we go into the hoods, knocking on the doors and stuff. The sad fact of the game is you still got parents that really don't care where their kids at, as long as their kids ain't up under them. You know what I'm saying? So we anything from pizza parties, socks, drawers, tennis shoes, they was coming out here working for it and getting paid. And this is the beautiful part about it. It started off with 12, and then they heard they was about to get some bread. Bro, they came back 24 strong, ready to work. So a mentality of like, not you can't just feed us 12. We got another 12 that need to eat. You know what I'm saying? They understand the concept of village and tribe, but they don't have no guidelines and no structures, because a lot of the OGs is they older brothers. You feel what I'm saying? They're still trying to figure out life themselves. So the accountability that was put on us. Hold on, that's the rapping. I'm gonna take every opportunity to flex that I can with the TP in the back.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? We just had to, you know, hold ourselves accountable for, you know what I'm saying, just being a pillar of just an open community of, all right, we're gonna teach you something, but you can't just be down here running through this. And so giving them game on how to really conduct themselves, and they started their own little business coming down here and even tried to negotiate with us, bro. Like, y'all that broke in and y'all sitting up here trying to negotiate pricing, and no, we don't need pizza this time, we need Chipotle. Come on, man. 24 burritos and bowls add up. You feel what I'm saying? So we gonna work with them, but that's the overall concept of what this is just giving people a safe place to come figure out and hone in on what it is that they want to do. Even if it ain't that, but you coming down just to sit down in the game, you know what I'm saying, some peace, just to chill out, because how tranquil it is, I promise you, once you cross these gates, you won't feel like you in the hood or in the forgotten triangle. You know what I'm saying? You really gonna get the vibe of like, man, this is different. And it's just a small piece of like learning how to help people cultivate this within their own house and share that wealth and that information that we got on what it takes to just be able to just help people find themselves during these, you know, trying times.
Can you talk about some other relationships as far as like K students and college students coming down, and you know, people that's into that horticultural type of fields coming down and getting some game from down there too?
Man, so the beautiful thing about just agriculture and sustainability, ain't nothing you cannot tie into what agriculture with sustainability looks like. So I done had the privilege to teach over 220 schools from a collegiate level all the way down to pre-K, and to be a Central State Extension teacher, teaching urban agriculture. So me coming in, not having to change my appearance, not having to change the way I talk or the way I move, but being able to teach kids on a collegiate level all the game that I've acquired over the last 10 years, probably been one of the biggest blessings, because you can't judge a book by its cover, and you don't know how much stuff you're missing out on by even trying to size somebody up by what they look like or what they might know just off of how you judging them or perceiving them to be. So being able to just really take the college students on the tour and them coming out here to volunteer, and us being able to connect on collegiate levels, and me having friends in high places and like real friends, not let me send you an email, but no, I can call you and hit you up. Hey, I need this, and you pulling through. You know what I'm saying? Once again, turning them relationships into revenue that we can benefit from just to keep expanding. Because that's what this whole thing is about, expanding the concept of what sustainability looks like and not putting a cap on it.
Let's talk about expanding. You got situations in Ghana. You got situations in Belize. If we're talking about global, let's talk about that.
So, and that's the beautiful part about it, where it's like once you get to moving, everybody be so quick to just throw you into a box. Oh, that's all y'all got is that down there, and I'd be like, well, where yours at? Because I'm gonna be all the way honest, G. When I made my transition, the hardest hater I had at the table at all these meetings I was going to was the educated brother or the educated sister, man. And it was blowing my mind. Like, I'm thinking y'all happy we got another face sitting at the table, but y'all my biggest haters because I didn't go through the same collegiate, you know what I'm saying, process that you had to get a degree, or I didn't pay what you paid to get this. Man, they were some of the biggest haters, man. I'd be sitting on some of these meetings and I'm looking like, well, damn, like, where the love at? So expounding off of just what we got down here to go global, that's just the bonus, where because they try to box us in. So over in Belize, we got a villa where we got a partnership also with farmers out there, teaching them how to grow and be sustainable with some of our practices and then learn some of their practices. Having that foreign exchange student vibe. Over in Ghana, we got a partnership with a school out that way with Yvonne Pointer and teaching kids literacy programs through our comic books. So we got comic books made out of recycled paper and soy ink. And we have a partnership with them over in Ghana. We over in Israel. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we're working on trying to get over in Nigeria. So even during all of this pandemic, it's still a need for global connection. And I've been blessed enough to be able to shrink my world. You know what I'm saying? What the concept of the world looks like. That's why doing all of this stuff, it really is blowing my mind that people really don't have a safe space. You know what I'm saying? Because really, all this really showed me is you pretty much set the tone for what you got at your house by how hard you've been working and what you've been doing. Especially
Hold on. Let me jump in for a second. Talk about, and it's kind of touching on that. You kind of like raised a thought in my head. Is, you know, environment plus your environment within your body, healthy, having a mental and plus your mental health environment is, you know, all tied together. So this farming and this type of lifestyle change and education is needed on it. Let's talk about that.
The overall goal, honestly, through this education is how to successfully create a successful ecosystem for yourself within your household, then your community, then your environment. Because when this whole Go Green movement came to the forefront, I was fortunate enough to go to so many different conferences and sit in on so many conversations. But the whole thing was that's all a lot of it was conversation and conferences, and nobody wasn't really applying no pressure. So being able to really say it don't take much to really create a sustainable ecosystem within your household that you can thrive off of, as far as a mental standpoint. Like, what do you need in your house to be sustainable and a working piece and an important piece of your household? Plug Green in the Ghetto. That's what we teach our kids, how to be sustainable yourself, household, community, then environment, in that order, because they want us to save the world. And I don't even know what I'm about to eat when I get home. I don't even know if the light's gonna be on.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm excited. I'm sorry.
I'm with you.
So let's start with somebody who just kind of saw this video. Where do they start? What do they do? I mean, you know, do they get some, you know, what's
So the first thing to do is trying to figure out and find out what you want to get, because it's an exchange, right? When you come down here to the farm to volunteer, one of our biggest things is we changing the language with even that, because volunteer, you automatically think free, they about to work me to death. So it's no more volunteer, it's extended family, because we want you to be comfortable, and on top of being comfortable, we want you to be able to receive something, because it's an exchange. Because like I told you earlier, we consumers by nature. So what I mean by that is I got the right to not consume a conversation that's not going to benefit me in no type of way. But a lot of times we don't understand that it ain't just buying product, but it's buying into information or just buying into somebody's conversation that you become a consumer indirectly. So if somebody wants to start, it's like, what do you want to see happen in your life on a small scale just to get your mind right? Because you got to fortify the mind before you do anything else. Because this process, I'm gonna be honest, I quit probably about 8 times. Like, man, what am I doing here, man? I'm
Yeah.
back to the trap. I'm back to retail where it's
Right.
easy. So in this process of me being down here, I left 7 times. Like, that ain't it, because I was fighting, trying to find myself with inside a whole system that I didn't think I fit into. But at the end of the day, everybody and anybody plays a part to sustainability, whether it's just you spreading information and turning somebody on to what we got going on. That's why I'm grateful for this platform, because it start right there, just us meeting, having a conversation about what we feel that we need as human beings just to sustain ourselves. You feel what I'm saying? From a mental capacity, and just starting right there with mental capacity. I seen you had Archie on here talking about your mental health and awareness and stuff like that, but just setting the tone for things that I need as an individual to create a peaceful ecosystem for myself, and understand that the things I consume, I'm responsible for, because I could tell somebody to just shut up, or I could just walk away and I don't have to eat whatever they're trying to give me.
Right.
But when you come down here, and when the extended family come down here, we just want to see what it is that you want to learn, or what it is that you're trying to figure out, so we can point you in the right direction. Because it might not be just putting somebody straight to work. Sometimes they might just need to come chill out in the teepee, sit down, get their mind right, and just slow the world down. You know what I'm saying? And what that looks like for them on the daily, because I'm glad that it took God to slow the world down for a lot of people to understand what we've been doing. So, because I thought, no cap, probably last year, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna get this one more year, then I might have to dust them boots back off and get back in them trenches, because I didn't see value. Because not that I was looking for validation, but when you purpose driven, you trying to look for something that just confirms why you're here. Like, I don't need somebody who can't give me nothing, or who didn't grind with me in the trenches. They can't clap for me or validate me. I'm looking for the people that's hungry and trying to receive from something to tell me, I'm glad you down here. Thank God y'all doing this work. That's the highest form right there, to let me know that we operating in purpose and in God's work, just because people be able to find peace in these hard times of this transition. So the thing I would say is just come down here and feel the vibe, and then we can figure out what role you can play. Because sometimes it's just that simple. Turn somebody on to us.
Yeah.
Resources, and like I keep going back to, turning those relationships into revenue. And revenue don't always mean finances. A lot of times it can just be somebody, you always 6 degrees. It ain't even 6 degrees no more. Separation from having a new plug on whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So this opportunity that Damien, Randy, Keemon, and Dave had, positioned me to be a part of, has really anchored in, because Dane would always tell me, this your mountain to pitch from. And I've been looking at these last 2 months, when everything else was closed outside, I'm able to still hold meetings and have people come down here and catch a vibe and be able to build, relationships and expansion, for people who always dreamed of growing their own fruits and vegetables, but didn't know where to start. So we expanded up the street. Out of the 26 acres we have farmland that you can lease for a growing season, to see if it's something you want to do before you just go all in, buy property, and then try to do it. The best way to learn is to mess up on somebody else's property. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And try to figure it out. So, the first step is just, just coming down here, because one of the biggest things, I used to fight to try to get people to come down here. You know what I'm saying? When I'm telling them about it, and you get mad because people don't want to buy into what you offering, but it's all about timing too. You know what I'm saying? Now my phone ain't stopped clicking since, all this been going on. Bro, you at the farm? I'm down here working. If you come to put some work in, come on. But, after hours, we can talk then. But, so setting the tone for, I can't sit up here and let you watch me work.
Right.
Okay, watch me work.
Yeah. Can you talk about, you had did something from MLK, technology, sustainability, and I think you was doing I know you was doing some other stuff. So you're bringing some more awareness down there. Can you touch on some of the stuff that you was doing?
Yep. So 3 years ago, we did something with 1079 for MLK Day. We did a day on, not a day off in service, where we did do something day with them. We had such a big turnout, and it was cold, bruh. Real cold, that we didn't even think nobody was gonna pull up. We had over 250 volunteers show up, and that sparked interest in me to keep doing something every year for MLK Day, just because it's easy for me to gain extended family and get people to come down here and see what we're doing. So that's when I reached out to you and Chucky Supreme. I just got this idea of these kids now are getting taught where you only can do one or the other. You only can do sustainability or you can do technology. So we came together 2 years ago. Like I said, I'm glad you and Chucky accepted the invitation to come down here, but we did the union. So we merged technology with sustainability, also with white label. So shout out to Duff and shout out to Watts. We did the augmented reality scavenger hunt. We talked about plants. You did your piece about just what you got going on, just with content and just creating this content. That's really what we here to do, is just put something out here that people can always benefit and receive from. So that MLK Day started to become a tradition where it turned into, like I said, other relationships. Shout out my homegirl Kevin, who took me up to Subaru. Kevin from #Foster and plugged me in with the general manager. You feel what I'm saying? And built a relationship with Subaru, where we was able to do something for Earth Day. You feel what I'm saying? And turned into a successful venture where I was able to get me a Subaru, you know what I'm saying, and take kids throughout Ohio and let them see the difference between what we do here down at our farm and then just taking them outside of their four walls and four corners. So we got a little piece on YouTube called A Sustainable Subaru Summer, where we just ventured out through Ohio, and then highlight some of the stuff. Shout out to my homie Dante, who was at the Natural History Museum, working over there, doing programming for the kids. We was able to get like an all access pass to come in there and film and shoot. Where I'm 39, and this is the first time I've ever been to the Natural History Museum. And I'm walking through there and I'm feeling like a kid, and I felt like a goofball because it's like we got access to these resources, but once again, a resource really ain't a resource if it's not within your reach. So if you're not really shown that it's an opportunity for you to see more, do more, and expand your imagination, because that's what all of this come back down to. Once you come on the farm, I want to be able to just help spark that imagination. That one piece of you that dies when you punching somebody's clock, when you just day in and day out on Groundhog's Day, feel like you've been doing the same thing for the last 2 months. So just being able to get people to start getting back to daydreaming and using their imagination just to be able to form these different things that's, needed out here in the world, in the crazy society, where you wondering why this thing is bugging you because people trying to receive from it. Because I always think back, if Dane wasn't crazy enough to think about putting a farm down here during COVID-19, where would I be? You feel what I'm saying? Probably somewhere stressing, working another retail job, wondering why they trying to kick me off my unemployment benefits. You feel what I'm saying? So even in that small notion of me quitting 2 years ago, that mentally prepared me to minimize my lifestyle and slow down on some of the stuff that I was doing as far as just spending, just to be buying, because I'm in a shoe store, getting all the kicks, and then seeing, like, ain't no knock to nobody that comes from that culture, but it's like when you see what's on the other side of the wall and you see like how wasteful you'd have been with your money, your talents, and just buying shit just because you got the bread for it, you know what I'm saying? You kind of low-key feel guilty. So I didn't had over 300 some pair of tennis shoes. I didn't gave away half my collection because it's just like I'm at home looking at what I'm gonna wear today, but then all them other 300 some pairs, that's one pair.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And I'm looking at the difference between really minimizing my lifestyle and changing my mentality to be able to get prepared for this moment. So I thank God that I took that, you know what I'm saying, leap of faith and jumped out of the plane and didn't worry about if I was cleared for landing. But if I hadn't, I just look at where I would be mentally now. I'd probably be somewhere stressed out.
Let's talk about, that's dope, bro. I love it. Let's talk about, that limiting on meat and the limiting on resources and how vital it is to have a garden. Like, I mean, they might shut down the grocery stores. Let's talk about that.
Prime example, bro. I have never in my life, 39 years on earth, seen people wait outside for food like they're giving away free Yeezys and free Jordans. So that threw me all the way off, because the whole overall goal of why we do what we do is for everybody to have a small garden in their backyard. to start that barter and that co-op. So if you growing the tomatoes, I'm growing the peppers, and we swap it out. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go big and have to do acres on top of acres to produce, but just within itself, you know, this is a prime example. When it get bad, you want to be able to have a cheat code, and that cheat code is honestly what you're doing with your time when you get off from punching somebody's clock and taking some time really just to reconnect. And like I said, man, it's an exchange. What are you giving the earth in return for the stuff that you do every day? You waking up, you giving your job all your all, then you go home and you laying it down. That ain't gonna get it. You got to, you know, put something in that little ties and offering that sustainability where you can pay it forward to yourself at a later time and date. Because like I said, bro, I never thought that what I'm doing and what I've been doing for the last 10 years will be so appreciated or respected on such a level where people are just like hit my line just to come down and get a peace of mind or come learn how to honestly do this. Because it's one thing when everybody talk your ear off, y'all want to learn, I want to learn. But I've been fortunate enough to have a group of people that came down here and we started a co-op, and they got a farm right up the street. And that's our Love Sustainably Farm, and that's an acronym. Love is learn, operate, value, expand. Let me teach you something. Show me you know how to operate in what I'm teaching you. Show me that you value it by bringing somebody else to the table to learn exactly what you're learning. And that's how we keep expanding. We cuff to connect so much, or we like to tuck information and monetize information where I gotta tell you this. It's a time and a place for everything. But when you got people who genuinely want to put in the work and who genuinely know that this is part of their purpose and passion, man, you can't be that guy that's, all right, give me 20,000 and I'll show you how to, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put your name on the flyer. You let them know you come and learn from me, and you got to advertise for me, or you sell 5 of these, and then you come back and let me know you really. They gotta be. It's go mode. As soon as they say they ready, you held accountable because you sat up there and you consumed that. So if your heart is in the right place, what you consume, you don't want to do nothing but just turn it into content and a reality for them to be able to pitch from. Because guess what? Out of that co-op, when they finally learn how to farm and get their rhythm up, they already held accountable for bringing other people to the table. So now we got satellite units going out in the different hoods. Everything ain't got to be on one side of the town. And then you can go to Maple, you can go to Bedford, Glenville, over off St. Clair, wherever, and pull up, and you can shop within those co-ops and spend your money with them, especially during times like this where a little go a lot. You know what I'm saying? Go a lot, you know what I'm saying? Go far away because of the game that trying to keep some of these small businesses in play. You feel what I'm saying? Appreciating these small businesses. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, these small businesses step their customer service up, bro, because they know what time it is now. Outside open. I got options. So you coming to the counter and Keisha she ain't frowning no more. She's smiling. You got your silverware. You got happy to see you come again. Thank you for your support. You got all that coming out now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where the consistency of customer service and quality is at an all-time high within Black-owned businesses. And I love it because now the thing you took for granted, which was everybody's dollar, is now valued. Because you got to think about it. You go to McDonald's, right? The first thing they ask you is, welcome to McDonald's, how can I serve you? Or how can I help you?
Right.
We so programmed, we don't even tell them, all right, let me get a number 1 with a Coke, and you have a smile on your face when I pull around to give you this money.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? We so programmed, we know it's terrible, and we go back and the customer service is terrible, but I ain't going back. We were next day. We mad at them because they ain't doing their job. We right back.
Right. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, bro. How many of them phone calls is asking about the cannabis helping with
So it's funny during these transitions where everybody trying to get toilet paper, everybody trying to get food. I ain't gonna hold you. I got 70% on my phone trying to find out where the bag at.
Right. So I know that the cannabis is $1 billion industry now, and everybody want to set up and get into that space. Can you talk about that?
Right. So we've been fortunate enough to form a partnership with the Cleveland School of Cannabis and do an externship lab program where the students can come down here and learn how to properly plant plants, house plants, plants of nature, just plant care one-on-one, period. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of anything that you grow, it starts with the soil. So we've been able to be blessed enough to be a nationally composting facility, which is dealing with food waste to produce high quality soil, high in nutrients, and just high in productivity of plant life and food. You know what I'm saying? So we've been able to form a partnership with them and open up lanes where that cannabis industry, we don't have to be the one growing it, but we can still be a major part of it by the soil and being a house for the information. So we had 2 years in a row, we had the Midwest Canna Woman Cannabis Picnic, where we had over 120 something vendors in the cannabis industry come down here to the farm and be able to really learn the game. And I've been able to form partnerships, and I'm a cannabis agent with Green Harvest Health, Dr. Bridget Williams, who's a cannabis doctor who writes prescriptions. And not only does she write the prescriptions, but she gives you the counseling and the education on which strand is good for your symptoms. So not just giving you a card to say, go shop, go smoke good, but let's really go ahead and help you from the direction that you might need that help. So instead of just getting your card, let me get you your card, let me get you some counseling, and let me get, you know what I'm saying, your moms or whoever might not agree with this lifestyle, but they see the benefit of it in you, help them as well, because that transition of people being out of the closet and being free to smoke, you know what I'm saying, and move around and consume now, it's at an all-time high where it's just freedom. So freedom across the board to not have to have these hidden conversations on a billion-dollar industry, and we missed the opportunity to capitalize off of them. You know what I'm saying? So I got a couple partners of mine. We got a company called Pounds for Profit, and it educates you on the industry of cannabis and the partnerships that can be formed where it don't make sense if you got a homie that went down for distribution of 100 pounds. That's the owner or general manager of a dispensary right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So let's really turn these negatives into a positives. And what we do is we create dialogue and a straight connect to the industry where you can sit down and have these conversations. You might not be able to own a dispensary, but let's figure out where we can eat at. Because there's enough room to eat at the table in this industry, because that's another thing. They ain't closed during this whole pandemic because they know, well, that bottle and that good smoke, they be out here running them up. You know what I'm saying? So they keeping balance into it. And I'm going to be honest, they did it in a good, tasteful way where, you know what I'm saying, understanding that a lot of people are going through some stuff and they need that help, whether it be cannabis, CBD, and just learning the difference between the two and how they can help you. But it's just been a good open dialogue to be able to have a safe space like the farm to have these type of conversations and think outside the box and tie it all into, you know, sustainability.
So give me some last words of wisdom from you, and what you need from us, and you know what you see next for the farm with you. Some last words. Let's land this plane.
Man, I'm gonna say this in closing, man. Just be appreciative to other people's optical opinion. You know what I'm saying? We be so quick to bash somebody on how they see the world or how they see life, but we don't really take time to take those prescriptions off and swap for a minute and see how they can feel the way they feel or view stuff the way they view it. Because at the end of the day, I'm a pros and cons type person where I can appreciate somebody trying to shut me down or throw a monkey wrench in the conversation so I can thoroughly filtrate through every process, you know what I'm saying, at every step. So, man, just being more respectful, respect other people's optical opinion and just how they view stuff. And honestly, with this 26 acres and the farm and the stuff that we got going on in Belize, Ghana, and Israel, is just looking forward to more expansion and being able to teach our extended family, you know, how to be sustainable, whether it's just in your household, your community, turning those communities back into neighborhoods. And because, you know, if the clubs don't open back up, Granny Street gonna be the new Kick It. So we got to learn how to keep some order. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to keep some order and some guidelines. But man, that's it. Just being able to respect other people's optical opinion, because we get so upset that somebody else got an opinion that don't line up with what we got in store for ourselves that we miss the point of that's what makes all of this beautiful. Without all these different concepts, ideas, and creatives you miss a bigger opportunity to really turn, like I said, a relationship into some revenue. And I'm gonna leave you with this one before I go. How to be rich. Everybody thinking financial. It ain't just financially rich, but spiritually rich. And rich is an acronym that we came up with down here for righteous and changing history. We want to set that tone where we showing that social currency is going to be stronger than monetary value, because you just got to see the value in people for who they are and what they can do for themselves and you and the community, because it ain't all on us. You feel what I'm saying? We ain't here to hold the door open or wait for everybody to come on in. We need everybody else to just spread the awareness, spread the information, and stop cuffing to connect. Stop cuffing to connect, man. Just don't be so insecure where you scared of somebody find value in what you already got going that they're gonna try to outshine you. And sometimes we do need a little etiquette on business, because you know, a lot of times you might bring somebody to your meet, they up there passing their cards out more than you even got a chance to reach your wallet and grab your cards. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, I just been learning that game on just etiquette of business, and stop cuffing that connect, man, because it's enough out here for everybody to eat and receive from. It's just, don't just do it for you. Make room for somebody else to sit at the table and eat too.
Dope, I love it, bro. How can we find you? Can we just pop down at the farm? We got a call. I mean,
man, I'm a real one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give my social media out. It's Tim_R_Lewis, LEWIS. Or for real, they can call me, because I'm the community outreach director anyway down here. 440-317-4777. And we'll set it up, because what we're trying to do now is encourage people to come down with their family members, so we can have people coming down with groups that they're comfortable already working with, because somebody mentality or optical opinion or, you know, vision might not be the same within all of this, because I ain't put on a mask or no gloves yet, bruh, and I ain't knocking it, but just down here it's the freedom. If you choose to, that's cool, but it's so hot in these hoop houses and greenhouses, you're gonna be trying to breathe instead of COVID ain't surviving in the 120-degree greenhouse. You know what I'm saying? So once again, that's 440-317-4777, or hit me up on Instagram, Tim_R_Lewis, LEWIS, or you can hit us up www.ridall.org.
dope. Appreciate you, son.
Man, I appreciate you, G.
Hey, you gotta, I gotta say, like, I love like the 1 minute jewels you be dropping on Instagram. I ain't been seeing.
I'm about to get back on it. I got, you know why? Because I had to tuck myself for a minute, because I be smiling too hard during the pandemic, and they come get you. If you smiling during the pandemic, that means you know something they don't know. That means you know something they don't know. No, I'm back on it though. I'm back on it. That ain't nothing confirmation to get back tapped into it, so it's all good.
All right, baby. Be safe, man.
All right, for sure.
Peace.
Yep.